As far as the interpreting is concerned, I've done that sort of community interpreting that I mentioned before between groups from migrant communities. Now with that, I don't do German, I only do French, English. And French, as you probably realize, is spoken widely across the globe. There are many French-speaking countries, so the clientele is very varied, which is something I really like about doing that interpreting. So it could be anyone from Africa or the Middle East, for example, as well as or France, Belgium, and Canada. So yes, it's legal healthcare mostly, as far as the community interpreting is concerned, and also delegations. Government delegations from French-speaking countries that come to exchange with government bodies here on topics, especially on agriculture, forestry, those sorts of things. These are areas I've worked quite a lot in. Jen also asked us to talk about our highlights and also lessons to be learned. Maybe I'll start with the hard thing that I learned with the beginning of my translation career. I was recruited by someone I know, but it was an international conference, and where there were interpreters working. I was there as a translator, and I was asked to translate into French. And I said, oh yes, I can do that. So, which I can. But the thing is, I'm just that bit slower than translating into English, which is now my dominant language. So suddenly, there were 3 days, but the pace really started picking up, and the delegates want their translations. so that was a lesson I learned. No, I'm not going to do that sort of work again, because that was very stressful. So how about some really lovely experiences? And most of them have been so good and so rewarding. So, for example, with translating, I've translated for a bilingual art magazine, a French art magazine, and because I love that area, that field of work. It was so interesting learning about just translating really articles about new exhibitions and so on. So that was something really, really good that I did enjoy very much, and learning, just really deepening my knowledge, and also, always finding the right word in those circumstances is very, that challenge is very rewarding. I had a lovely experience. It was before COVID, because it was an in-person experience at one of the primary schools here. There was some French speakers whose poor knowledge of English had prevented them, without an interpreter, from really understanding the learning difficulties faced by their son. And one of the parents particularly was, you could say, maybe in denial of what was happening, and was really upset about it. And then they decided to bring an interpreter in, and just that smooth communication really helped to clarify everything for those parents, so that by the end of the appointment they were so relieved and very thankful as well. And that was such a good experience. And also the teachers were just so relieved as well, because they had an upset parent who didn't want to acknowledge about their child's learning difficulties and what to do about it. So that's where an interpreter is so valuable. And as I say, that was very rewarding. Also, just again, before COVID, I accompanied a group of people from French-speaking African nations. Actually, they were mostly English-speaking. There were 3 French speakers. It was a field trip all around the Riverina, New South Wales and Victoria. It was to see how Australian growers were adapting to climate change. So that was also a marvellous trip, because I got this free trip, around the Riverina, plus these lovely people and getting to know them. So those are some of my highlights.